Let's look at how to create a cut grading solution and draw it on your site plan. In our example here, we've got a slope, all right? It's higher up in this direction, 7, 6, 5, and then lower down in this area. And we'd like to create a flat pad right here for a building somewhere in this area. Right? The first thing we're going to do is set our finished grade. And what we're going to do is take a look at the contour line just below our proposed area. And we want to set our finished grade for that flat pad just slightly higher than that lower contour. So we're going to set that at 2.5. The next step is to cut away into the hill, basically, behind our flat pad. And so what we're going to do is modify contour level 3, all right? It can't cut through our flat pad. We need a contour-free or flat area in here. And so it's going to come around and back behind, right? Notice that we use solid lines to represent the new or modified contours. Now, where should we place this on the plan? You need to do a calculation. All right. Contour 3 is going to be 0.5 or half a foot above that flat pad. Remember, we set that at 2.5. All right. And so you draw your little diagram right here. Okay. We know that the vertical height is going to be 3 minus 2.5, which is 0.5 or half a foot. All right. We know that our slope, this is given to us, by the way, we're going to maintain a 1 in 3 slope. We know that our slope is 1 in 3 or 0.33. It's 33%. So what is that horizontal distance? How far away from the flat pad does contour 3 need to go? What is this? It's this little arrow is pointing at this distance. Okay. Use your equation, slope equals V over H. All right, and solve for the H, the horizontal distance, is going to be 1.5 feet. So you come to this plan and you're going to draw this smooth curve, all right, that comes around behind your flat pad, and it never gets any closer than 1.5 feet. Notice on the other side, all right, that this finished grade of 2.5, all right, and this contour of 2, they also have to be 1.5 feet away in order to maintain a 1 in 3 slope in here. In my opinion, this is an error in this particular example. All right, they've got their flat pad a little bit too close to contour number 2. All right, so you have to be mindful of both directions, all right, uphill and downhill. All right, let's continue. So we modified contour 3, but what about contour 4? Here it is, the existing one. It comes right through our site. We can't have that. All right. So we're going to have to come in this direction and wrap it around, all right, because we're in a cut solution. We're cutting in the uphill direction. All right, we're going to wrap it around back behind our flat pad. How far away should that contour be? We need to do our little calculation. So we know that the vertical distance between contour 4 and contour 3 is 1 foot. We know that our slope, all right, is 33% or 1 in 3. So what is that horizontal distance? You can do this calculation and find out that contour 4 should be 3 feet away from contour 3. So as you draw this one right here, you want to make sure that it never gets closer than 3 feet, all right, between these two contours. Once you've drawn contour 4, take a look. It crosses over, it touches, all right, contour 5. Contours never cross, by the way. They should not touch or cross. And it's also closer than 3 feet. So we need to take a look and modify contour 5 as well. We can do the calculation again if you want to. It's going to be the vertical distance is going to be 5 minus 4 is 1. The slope remains the same. And so the calculation would be the same, and we want to make sure that contour 5 is at least 3 feet away from contour 4, all right, at every point. You're going to keep going up the hill until you have at least 3 foot away from any modified contours. Again, I think there's an error in this particular example because look, contour 6 is far too close to contour 5. All right. In order to keep that 1 and 3 slope, it still needs that 3 foot distance. All right. So I would argue that you also have to modify contour 6. Right. And then as you keep looking up the slope, you're like, oh, I don't need to do anything more. All right. My grading is complete.